Zero Z Assassin, back with another banger. Yes. So today's topic of interest is the improving the exhaust system. It's something that I've been struggling with since I first got the vehicle and did an install of the exhaust system. And I know I said I would review it and divulge the name. I will today. Like I said, I did go cheapo creepo. I didn't want to spend a godly amount of money on my exhaust setup, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So today, after having the long tube headers for such a long time, just sitting there collecting dust for real, I decided to go ahead and do it. I paired it with a set of Z1 Motorsports mid pipes, the H pipe. I didn't want to go Tome. I didn't want to go single exhaust setup. I wanted to dual exhaust. I may change my mind at a later point in time when I want to drop them pockets for a Tome system. It's going to hit you really, really steep financially. So I did that. I also went ahead and swapped out my intakes. Just a clown, you know. Still waiting on a package or a couple packages to come in that are on back order for 3 months now. But the install went, it was a bitch, man. It was a straight bitch. Rusted bolts. I do want to apologize in advance for a lack of footage. My GoPro went down. The phone was acting funny, so I was only able to piece together certain parts that was salvageable. Not many, so forgive me. This is not an in-depth tutorial. You're gonna find numerous places on the net that have done the long tube headers or just a header install. I can only at this point, because of my lost footage, which I do deeply apologize for, can only give you my experience and certain things that I did to help me aid in installment. Once the bolts were out, I had no problem. Like, that was easy peasy. I think later on in the video, I show and explain how my previous mid pipes were welded up to my cats. The exhaust shop that I went to at the time had no choice because they could not extract those bolts that were fused into the cat. It's just a mess. And I knew it was going to cost me more money in the long run because I had to now either chop that out, re-weld, or just get a whole new setup altogether. And I decided to get a whole new setup altogether. Without further ado, I'm going to jump right into the footage that I collected and show you my experience doing the whole process, all right? Thanks. Okay, I gotta know. These exhaust manifold shields were a pain, an absolute pain. And I literally had to take a long screwdriver and beat out the nuts or the bolts, what have you. But I literally had to mangle it to get it out because the bolts were just fused with rust. There was no way, they weren't budging. I snapped 2 of them in the process of trying to take it off. Side note. So here I wanted to show a side-by-side comparison, old versus new, so you get a better understanding of how it was set up. Here's the other exhaust manifold shield that I had to mangle out with a screwdriver and a hammer. Here's the new headers being wrapped. Here's a shot at both of them. Just getting ready to install. Here's the bay before I removed the driver's side exhaust manifold. I was finally able to get it out. I just want to say, fuck you, Nissan. So the previous exhaust shop had welded my mid pipe to my cats because the the nuts and bolts were so rusted that they couldn't extract those bolts. They were fused. So they welded my cats up. That was a good solution. However, my cats are severely rusted and feel it in my pedal, which was the major reason I went ahead and wanted to get my headers and downpipes all upgraded. Not gonna lie, this was a straight bitch. With all those rusted bolts, it was annoying. I literally cussed up a storm. And some people were saying that you had to remove your driver's side front wheel to gain access to the steering coupler or the steering knuckle. I did not. I simply unbolted the exhaust manifold bolts completely. That gave me enough wiggle room to remove the exhaust manifold with the catalytic converter in one swipe. I removed all the header bolts, or the exhaust manifold bolts, if you would. And honestly, it gave me enough space to clear that steering column knuckle. I'm just so pissed off right now that words escape me. So these oxygen sensor extension harness will come. It'll come coiled up, and you want to twist it back the opposite direction so it can have a more natural hang or drop, or where it rests, I should say. Basically, you're just twisting it the opposite direction. So I could just, that way it doesn't curve in, maybe touch something you don't want it to touch. All right. All put back together. I got the cold air intakes on. I figured while it was off, I might as well go ahead and do it. My headers are installed. My long tube headers all the way back to my mid pipes, new mid pipes installed from Z1. But I guess the question of the moment is,
Afro, what does it sound like, Afro? Can I hear it, Afro? But Afro, did you do everything right, Afro?
and dang, y'all some needy. Shut your mouth. I'm about to start it up. All right, like a here go. Bad running. Oh shit! It's on fire. Shit! Boss, help, boss! So I do want to flash back to the past, like Back to the Future. Yeah, not really, but just time warp. Yeah. In my first video, when I was doing the Afro Z origins, yeah, I kind of like that. My first video, I stipulated I would divulge the name of the cheapo creepo exhaust I went with. And believe it or not, guys, I went with OBX. I did an OBX catback system, got it on eBay for, I want to say it was either $350 or $400, which wasn't bad. The pedal still felt as though my cats were clogged, and I knew the moment I installed it that my cats were going, and I was gonna have to do an upgrade, whether it be resonated or racing cat, downpipes or non-resonated downpipes, or just do long tube headers and be like, kabam! So I went with OBX headers paired up to Z1 H pipe, and I would have maintained the OBX mid pipe. However, it was welded. I didn't want to chop, re-weld, and it is what it is. And plus, I did not also like the flex pipe edition. I wanted it just full through, and that's what I got. And you know what? I'm fine with that. That's comfortable for me. You know, like I've always said, that's more financially conducive for me. With that being said, I'm just gonna run into a quick clip of the first install of the exhaust, followed by the new exhaust system setup, and let you guys hear the difference. They got it done. Oh, nice growl. Nice growl. I'm expecting some burn off. That's to be expected with new pipes. So I'm just gonna let it sit in the idle for a little bit. We were having some smoke from this area, heavy. Now that it's warmed up, it's cooking off, and that's normal. I expected that. Just like in here, I expected that. I'm just gonna let it idle for a little bit more. I want to get it up to operating temp.
But Afro, it started, Afro. Are you gonna hit 160, Afro?
No, we don't do such shenanigans. We go to the track. Stop it.
So I wanted to give you guys an in-car review after the install. And forgive me if it's a bit hard to hear, but this is loud AF. Oh man. All in all, very happy with the install. No check engine lights. None whatsoever. I like that. I like that a lot. We'll let you have it. Just a quick in-car. Now, for Afro's closing thoughts. All in all, the headers, the heat wrap, the mid pipe bolted up to the previous catback system. I really like that setup on the cheap. You know, it didn't break the pockets. It didn't break the pockets. I'll have a full price breakdown and parts list in the description down below, and that way you guys can get your own, and you know, you can decide for yourself which is more financially conducive for you. I know how my pockets is, and I ain't rich, you hear me? So that's what it is.